know, trying to put them in the right direction. Most of the time, our activities are geared towards complementing the efforts of the president, the government. It's geared towards the socio-economic development of this country, creating awareness among the young people, trying to shape them, making them, you know, more productive. So once some of those things, you know, reaches you, you will realize that definitely this, you know, activity needed support. And in so doing, you know, they normally support. We normally have support also from the party itself, from the leadership, from the party leader and the chairman, who is His Excellency the President, Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh.
The wall of fathers saying, Ndimal nafafeka loho borom. Do you have your own projects, your own self-oriented projects that bring in money to the organization, to the youth wing, like communal farms here and there?
Well, actually, as we speak, we don't have any other project that is out there in which, you know, probably we may use to tap funds to implement some of our programs. But we're working on that. You know, this is why not so long ago we embarked on a nationwide tour. This is simply to, you know, engage the young people, you know, to make sure that, you know, they go back to the land. They adhere to the president's call, you know, one, to create employment, two, to generate income, as you rightly put it. But probably in the rural areas, we have, you know, communal farms, you know, that is owned by the youths, in which, you know, some of the proceeds are being used, you know, to fund some of their programs, some of their projects that they are having out there. You know, it's happening, but here, probably in the urban area, it's not something that is happening right now. But we are working, you know, to make sure that, you know, some of those things are put in place, you know, to empower some of the youth organizations that are very much, you know, interested in working, you know, support them, and then probably see them stand on their feet so that they will be able to support themselves.
Still on the president's vision, I mean, the president, I'm sure, over a period of time I have interviewed the president, and one of the areas I always bring forward in my interview with the president is that the Gambian economy seems to shift away from the Gambians themselves. Let's take, for example, the fishing industry. Look at the jetty in Bakau. Look at that was meant to be an income-generating project for the people of Bakau. But when you go to the jetty right now, I think it's rusty. It might collapse any minute from now if they don't do something else. Are you thinking of getting youths of this country into projects like fishing and farming and other things, skills, projects where youths can actually come in and do some work and some money?
Yeah, exactly, Malik. We're working on that. Like I said, not so long ago, you know, we went on a nationwide tour. And during that tour also, we were able to talk to the youths that they should at least, you know, be able to respond to some of those challenges. Because it is quite evident that even if you look at the fishing sector being said all the time by the president, you will realize that it is dominated by foreigners. Probably, let's take, for example, if you go to Sanyang, fish landing site, you will realize that, you will find out, that you have almost about 268 boats that goes out for fishing. Only 10 belongs to Gambians. That's serious.
A very sad situation.
You go to Burfoot, you have almost about 250. Only 7 are owned by Gambians. The rest, foreigners. So it's like we are allowing foreigners to dominate or to take control of part of our economy, which is not good for the country. So in so doing, this is why, you know, we've been advocating, you know, we've been, you know, working with youths, we've been, you know, trying to engage them to make sure that, you know, they go into this area. We've got our statistics, and the statistics is not very fine if you look at it, you know. Most of the time, you will realize that we've also find out that there are Gambians who are engaged in fishing. But most of the time, the boats that they use to go out for fishing are owned by foreigners. So that means you cannot have control over anything.
Not at all.
You know, because you are being controlled, you don't own the boat. But what they are telling us is that if they are being facilitated, you know, with boats, the trend will change. The trend will change. That means you will begin to have many Gambians who will go into fishing and then their catches, when sold, will make benefit for their families, and then will change the trend. So that's exactly what we are advocating right now, and we are making a headway. Because as we speak, many of them, are coming up, to show their interest. That, the only thing that is lacking is, the materials like boats, nets, and so forth. But already, as you know, His Excellency the President not so long ago has pledged a lot of money, for youths to prepare themselves, and they'll be supported so that they will go into farming, and fishing as well.
Let me take you to membership. How do you get your members into the APRC Youth Wing? Is there anything like a membership fee, which would have earned you some money anyway? Because if you want to become a member of the party, let's say you you register for $25 or $50, you gotta have an identification card or registration card or a membership card. And let's say if I want to be a member, I pay $50. I have a membership card. That $50 goes into a coffer somewhere. I'm sure with the 69% of the population, if everybody pays $50, that's some source of income for the youth wing.
Exactly.
Is that being given a thought?
Well, actually, when it comes to the issue of membership itself, we are trying to work on that to see how best we can come up with our own data that will tell us exactly how many young people, eligible voters, young people for that matter, who are in support of the party and the president as well. We're working on that. We are trying to establish that. In fact, as we speak right now, we are preparing to go to Kanilai next weekend, this Friday coming. So we're also using that as a basis, probably to collect, data from some of these youths that will be going to Kanilai. But we'll be making sure that we'll work on this on a wider wider scope, wider basis, to make sure that we collect our data throughout the whole country to know exactly, in order also to prepare our minds and ourselves, for the forthcoming elections that are coming, although it's a bit far. But the issue of, asking for a membership fee is something that we are a bit, skeptical, because for the simple fact, money, sometimes when it comes into play, it creates a lot of problem or divisions, especially, young people, their mentality.
But they will know this belongs to them. I mean, this is your fund.
Yeah, exactly.
APRC Youth Wing Fund.
Exactly.
Lodge in an account, either as an account, as a deposit account that will yield more fund. You can use that money to do some fundraising events and stuff like that. I think it's not a bad idea. But anyway,
course, yeah.
Let's keep that now for the time being. Do you have members in the diaspora? For example, members in UK, in America, in France. I know you have the women wing. They have these members in France who just visited the Gambia, I think, a couple of months ago. Do you have that same members in the diaspora?
Yes, of course, Alhaji Malik. Whatever the case may be, come rain, come shine, we may have members, in the diaspora who are young people, who are youths in support of APRC. They are out there. But what is lacking right now is the networking between we and them. Probably that's the only thing that is lacking. Not so long ago, I had the opportunity to meet with the Gambian APRC committee who came to visit the vice president. I had the chance to talk to their president, and this was one of the things that I put across to him, that we know that there's a large Gambian community, in Spain, probably, who are in support of President Jammeh, but what I told him is that probably you elders know exactly what President Jammeh is doing, and your support, is there. We know about it. But what about the young ones, your sons and daughters, the youths out there? We need also to have a connection with them so that they also will know that, the Gambia is moving, and they need to, connect themselves, with home, so that program of activities can even be exchanged, It's good that, something like that happens. And he was very happy, and he did welcome the idea, and had asked me that, when he returns back, he will work on some of those modalities to see how best we can begin to have, communication, proper communication between, we here and them. And we are going to extend that, by virtue of having the opportunity and the chance to meet some of the